Sure.
Kick us off there, Bado.
So the biggest one for me was the references to Coach K and the book.
Yeah.
And that worked so well with this because of how they pictured the beef with it slowly being turned into the bear,
Yeah.
and with Sydney going through her minimal but still a transition from her first season character to a second season character, and
Mm.
how that all comes to a head when they make that comeback at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after realizing all of that was the symbolism of that Coach K book, it just
Mm.
blew my mind going through it too.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Um, I'm gonna have to say every second counts. That from the moment that they kind of they hash out how long the remodeling of the bear's gonna take,
Yeah.
it starts a clock, and it's almost like this unofficial clock.
Yeah.
But then it's like everyone knows that they can't sit on their fucking hands for 9 months. You know what I mean? So they shorten that open date dramatically, and it just kicks off this momentum that runs through the whole season,
Yeah.
and it doesn't stop. There's constant reminders. There's constant work being done. There's
Yeah.
very very little filler, and
Mm-hmm.
even when the characters are stopping, they're stopping to sort of like input more character padding
Yeah.
and more character work, and making sure that they're putting in the time now so it pays off later, as you see in like some of the later episodes. It just, yeah, that momentum, that pacing of this season, just, like they did the right thing by releasing them all at one time. Because if
Yeah.
they week to week O's, there's a different sort of show, I think.
Yeah. If they release this week to week with a 30-minute episode a week,
Yeah.
I feel like this would fall very short. I wouldn't have given this as positive a review as I did because I would have felt broken up
Yep.
in between. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, there is something to look forward to, but
Mm.
this very much like the back of house,
Yeah.
it's ongoing and you need to be in that all the time from
Yeah.
start to finish.
Yeah.
The other thing that really worked for me was Fact's change of character during this. I'm gonna call mom.
Yeah.
But I thought him going from like this 2-bit, like I can do everything kind of guy to making the
Mm.
right decisions
Yep.
really worked out for me here because it really jumpstarts Richie's need to make a change.
Yeah. 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 Him actually taking accountability, eh?
Yeah.
Because as soon as Richie kind of goes through his transition to I wear suits now, everyone changes that is aligned with Richie. Fact changes.
Yeah.
Fact's homeboy changes as well. And they become like this fucking dream team triangle.
Yeah. And
It's bad.
and I shouldn't just give Fact some light there as well, because obviously this isn't the
Mm.
favorite character segment, but more so every character progression in this show, even if it was minimal like Sydney or if it was big like Richie,
Mm.
much like you said about Terminator, it wasn't rushed, and you got to feel it even though it was 30-minute episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with the world building and the lore creation that they had with episode 5, it really helps to
Yeah.
instill that level of just belief in that these characters do want to
Yeah.
change, but they're so stuck in their ways and they don't know how to.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like Ted Lasso, but in the kitchen and a lot fucking heavier.
Yeah.
Um, so what worked for me was the ensemble balancing, and this time they went at it a little bit differently. Sydney kind of still had her fair share of screen time and whatnot, but
Hmm.
Jeremy Allen White's Carmy kind of took a step back this season.
Yeah.
Did you notice that he was distracted a little bit.
Hmm.
and he was trying to like play both games at the same time, but he was finding it hard. But he he's really trying, even through his frustration, he's trying. So it's almost like he's playing catch up all the time. But they
Yeah.
balance the rest of the ensemble out so perfectly. Everyone kind of going ahead and doing different things and on different missions and whatnot.
Yeah.
It almost became like this uh almost like a man on a mission heist type film or heist type show where they're putting
Mm.
together all the pieces so
Yeah.
that they can get to the eventual conclusion, which is I'm opening this fucking restaurant.
100%. Yeah. It felt like Ocean's 11 setup in there.
Yeah, yeah. And any show that plays fucking Holiday Road, mate. Holiday Road. Shout out to Vacation. You know what's going down.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Sing that whole fucking song.
Badly. I want the backup dancers and backup singers and everything to come in. Let's run out this fucking house right now.
Another thing that really worked for me was presenting the bear like Jaws. You never
Mm,
see the front of this of the establishment until the very end, and
mm.
that's when you finally see that it really is exactly like that picture that Kami drew.
Yeah.
And the
Shit,
crate,
I didn't even link that.
yeah. So, and it's the exact same angle and everything of how he drew it for Mikey. Um, so what I like digging deeper into that is like the consistent change which goes throughout the whole season as well. Because whenever you walk into the beef or the bear again, it's always changed.
Yeah. I feel like the more that the characters change, the inside of the bear changes.
Yeah. And
So
it's
that by
almost
the
like,
time you get to the last episode, they've externalized the change as well. So the front of the bear's also changed.
yeah. And it's very much like um, character progression for the restaurant too, because the
Hmm.
inside of all of our characters changed, and so did this restaurant.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. It was insane. Like looking into it, I couldn't believe it when I saw the because the whole time when I'm watching the show, they show you like a wall, or they show you like the door or something, but it's all covered in
Yep.
newspaper.
Yep.
And the
Yep. Yep.
crazy thing is that you see it through Fac's eyes at the end, and that's how
Hmm.
they
Yeah, you
show it to
do.
you. Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Okay. Um. Favorite uh cameo moment of the season, which there was a lot.
Hmm.
There was heaps. Would have to be Will Poulter for me, and it's Will Poulter with his actual accent
Yeah.
because I didn't know that O was British.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was hitting the English.
We hit the English tonight.
And it worked. It
Yeah.
worked that he wasn't he wasn't some arrogant piece of shit.
Yeah.
He was legit there. I'm here to help you get better, and you
Hmm.
will try and you'll commit, and we're gonna do this together. And it's gonna be a journey. And
Yeah.
I really felt that like there was camaraderie and this commitment to getting better, and he understood the steps to do that.
Yeah.
And it's very different from the hell that you kind of see Kami go through
Yeah.
in the other restaurant
Mm.
in the last season with Joel McHale.
Yeah. 100%. And I feel like the monologue that Will Poulter has when he's speaking to Marcus is very reminiscent of what Kami is going through now.
Mm,
Because when he explains that, like, I thought I was the best,
mm,
but then, I started at this other establishment and there was this other guy there and he was just miles better than me.
mm.
And I'm waiting for Kami to have that moment, and I'm trying to figure out who it is that will have that, like, I'm better than you type vibe as well, because I don't know if it's going to be Sydney. I don't know if it's going to be like Richie, because Richie might be that guy.
Yeah.
and then Kami will calm down and turn into Will Poulter as well, because Will Poulter feels like he's done his whole arc before you even get to like his introduction.
Yeah. It's like, I'll never ever beat this guy, but you know what? I'm at peace with just doing what I'm doing here because I'm a
Yeah,
lot better than I would have been if I didn't even try.
yeah, and it was such a big life lesson as well that he was
Mm.
talking about, because he was like, I know I can't be better than him, but I'm going to stick to his side this whole time. And with
Yeah.
Marcus asking him like, well, did you get better? And he was like, I got better than I thought I could ever get.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, instead of like shining the light, I'm sorry to get real like crazy with this, but not shining the light outside, but like taking a look at yourself and seeing like where you plateau, and to see if there really is anything you can do to get better from there,
Yeah.
instead of thinking of everyone else's competition. Like, just take it on yourself and do as best a job as you can.
Yeah, that's right. Because it is you against you. At the end of the day, you can't be looking at other O's like chapter 20s and you're on like chapter 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of vibe. You're always
Yeah.
gonna be like on the back foot in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
100%.
that was an O's favorite cameo.
Yeah. I was really torn when I was thinking about this as well, because I was like, fuck. Because everyone just gave their all, even the
Yeah.
cameos.
Yeah.
Um, but I think for me, it's Olivia Colman. As
Mm.
short as it was to have her there, like
Yeah.
just her influence on Richie, as well as her story, when
Yeah.
she talks about losing that business and then, coming back and doing it again,
Mm.
I thought she killed it there
Yeah.
too. She didn't show a lot of emotion. She was still very much Olivia Colman, with the like, that happy like, come get something to eat from your auntie type smile.
Auntie Olivia.
That's the vibe she gives, man. Like, she's just
Yeah.
that auntie that wants to feed you and love you, like with that like big happy smile with those eyes
Mm.
as well.
Mm.
But I feel like it's very much another version of Will Poulter, where she's lost everything but realized she could, like, still work at a balance.
Mm.
And just seeing her influence really brush off onto Richie, even though he was at the end of, or coming to the end of his arc, it still looks like he learned so much from Olivia Colman in there.
Yeah.
And
Hell
I
yeah.
felt like they really hid her character and her title during that scene as well,
Yeah.
until the very end, when you
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
out that she owns the joint and shit like that.
Yeah. Mm.
It was cool. Makes me want to fucking skin onions. I mean mushrooms. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey. I never do.
Me neither.
It's too much fiddly shit for me. All right, what didn't work for an O?
Shit, this was a hard one. But I think with Ao Edibiri, her character still felt a little off for me
Hmm.
going through the
Okay.
season. And I don't know if it's just because I can be an anxious person, and to see her go through it, like, it just like it shakes me off my axis as well.
Yeah.
But it felt like there was some notes that were missed going through her performance.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's me overthinking it, when I was like, because I was very nitpicky with this choice as well.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe I am overthinking her character as a whole.
Hmm.
But I also have a personal dislike for her character in the show.
Damn.
but but that's also because I feel like her change wasn't as meaningful as everyone else's, and she was very much stubborn in that like case. But um, yeah, that's what didn't work for me, was her character as a whole throughout this season,
Hmm.
because it was just stunting everything for me.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Um, for me, it was Tina and Ibrahim, Ebras, uh, like their arc, because
Okay.
Ibra kind of he disappears for
Mm.
so long, and and Tina's there, and she's sort of with him at culinary school, and sort of cheering him on and shit like that, and he just disappears, and then they don't really wrap it up and kind of have it out or talk about it. It's just kind of like, all right, we're cool again. Like we can hang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, whereas I sort of thought they were setting that up for more drama between them, so that you got more insight into those characters. But the cunt just sat there smoking cigars at the park. It was like, all right, fair enough. But I think the one that was the most glaring was how much Kami's role is reduced.
Okay.
So in the first season, they sorry, they set it up so that Kami's the main guy you follow. You follow
Hmm.
this guy sort of through everything. Every episode is kind of about him.
Yeah.
Whereas in this season, it really was the bear. It didn't have to be about him, and it almost moved away and
Hmm.
shone the light to the full ensemble, which was yeah, which is really really different. But they also had these really awesome flourishes between Kami and Tina with the knife.
Yeah.
Like her actually stepping into that chef's role
Hmm.
and getting her sort of culinary degree and whatnot, and like, chef, I still got your knife, and I didn't remember asking for it back, chef. I was
Yeah.
like just that little touch point there, it just adds so much because Tina plays it off like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. You know,
Yeah.
like she's really really proud because she's being
Yeah.
seen, and you've seen that arc in the first season, but when it hits in the second season, like fully actualized, it's just
Hmm.
you just love to see it. You love to see the acknowledgement of people's progression,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just my knee jerk reaction to working in some really shitty places through my life.
Yeah.
That here comes a guy who's willing to sort of to actually put in the time when he has the time
Yeah.
to make people feel good about what they're doing,
Yeah.
which then makes them go the extra mile. And Tina goes the extra fucking mile in this season.
Yeah. She really does. Um, two things I wanted to bring up about what you mentioned. The first and was with Ibra. Um,
Hmm.
I think you're 100% right. Because when Sydney presents the whole, hey, you're going to go to cooking school, and Ibra's like, but I already know how to cook. And then you realize that it's not like, it is a fear of not being good enough, but also like his past is coming back to haunt him when she mentions the uniforms and things like that. And then
Hmm.
you really go back into his story when he's speaking to one of the guys in the restaurant, when he talks about, like, his past with, like, the killing and the war and the suffering and stuff like that.
And the
Um,
uniforms and that. Yeah.
yeah. And that's why Tina's like, it's not that kind of uniform.
Yeah.
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 So that really like came up for me. And the second, I think with them not showing as much Kami, you really are meant to feel it, because
Hmm.
even in the show he's not there.
Yeah,
And
true.
I, and I
And
think
they're
they,
experiencing that as well.
yeah, that absence and that need for Kami. So I think
Hmm.
that's why they don't have a lot of him in this season, because they really want you to understand that too.
Hmm. It's a good perspective at looking at it. I'll kill you.
Just trying to correct beeps. But I could be wrong as well. But like thinking
Oh,
about
that
it, it
makes
feels like,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. What's the next one? Favorite character?
I think we got the unanimous on this one, Doug.
Is it?
So for me, it was Richie.
Mm,
I felt like he had the most like heartfelt character arc, even with going through that Bizardos episode to see where he really was all the way
mm,
back then to
yeah.
now, and he's really taken the time to be like the man that not only the bear needs, but what his daughter needs, what his
Yep.
ex-wife needs. and it hit so many like just emotional walls for me.
Yeah, yeah, it really, really did. And his whole arc is almost like it runs the 35 minutes that the episode plays for.
Yeah,
Because he starts off and he's like, fucking, what am I doing getting up at 5 in the morning?
yeah,
Getting in there, not giving a shit. Yeah, I'll polish them, whatever. Just do my thing and stuff. But he's operating in a place where the level of excellence required is so high, and he's just like, what are you doing this for? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
mm,
But the learnings that he goes through in that 1 week, and it didn't feel like a week, it felt like he was there for a little while. You
yeah,
know what I mean? But seeing him go from, yeah, I don't give a shit. Like, why would I respect you when you don't respect me?
yeah,
And that guy sort of pulling him aside, to him actually driving home, flying home, listening to fucking Taylor Swift.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I cried again during that scene.
Yeah, it was just winning. When you see that winning,
Yeah,
that like I can't, I'm capable, and I'm an adult, and I can do this shit, and like I'm not even at my full potential yet.
yeah,
Like I'm able to bring so much to this thing that I was sort of like pushing away,
mm,
because Richie is almost holding on to is it Mikey? Who does Bernthal play?
yeah, Mikey.
Yeah, he's holding on to the memory of him, and the memory of him is so imbued into the beef
Yeah,
that them changing that place is like it's like spitting in the memory of his best friend's face.
yeah,
I don't want to change. Fuck you.
yeah,
Like you do what you have to do, but like I'm not 100% on board with you.
mm,
But then changing that place to something that that Mikey would have been proud of, so he changes himself. Oof.
I know.
God damn. The
the fucking
layers.
the feels are huge. Even the beginning of the first episode, when he's like, "Do you ever think about your purpose?" And Kami's like, "I love you, but I don't have time for this. I have time for this." And then he's explaining that story about the guy who won't change, and then everyone kind of just fucks him off.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then him like playing that character and like slowly going through that change,
Mm.
fucking unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Even like when he didn't want to move that locker, and you can
Yeah.
see that he's really trying to just do the opposite of what everyone else is doing because he doesn't want that, well, Mikey's locker to move. He doesn't want it to go anywhere, and he's trying to find
Yeah.
shortcuts and loopholes. And then it
Mm.
finally clicks why he doesn't want to move the locker, and then
Yeah.
all that happens. Like it's just unbelievable that the more I think about it, like there's just more and more that you see of Richie like being stubborn and then
Mm.
realizing his potential.
Yeah. It's almost like all the faults that they found in the beef was what he was covering up for, and it was like his own faults
Yeah.
because he corroborated the place being run that way, and if he agreed, it's on him.
Yeah. Far out.
Oh man, yeah, Forks was definitely my favorite episode of the whole season.
Yeah.
But fuck, there was some standouts. But yeah, was that all you had for favorite character?
Yeah, yeah, that's all I had. Like a close second is Marcus for me.
Mm.
With I think it's called Sunday was the episode when he goes to Copenhagen.
Yeah, yeah,
Um yeah, just unbelievable like to see him go there, learn the story, and come back like this. He's reinvigorated. He's still working on the perfect donut or the perfect dessert.
yeah,
And you learn about him working in like a telephone company for 5 years and all that shit.
yeah.
And to see where he is now, like he's really taken like a pay kick, and he's really trying to learn to be his own man and
Mm.
let his ideas flourish. And
Yeah,
his relationship specifically with his best mate, with them watching The Bachelor and all that shit, that was cool.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to see a little bit more of that guy in here
Yeah.
because I really like the back and forth with him and Marcus.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, he's a close second for me. Really enjoyed his arc.
And they really added the layers with him caring for his mom as well,
Yeah,
which I didn't get in the first season. But now that you kind of you see it, you can see why Marcus, when he's pushed so far, he just goes off the rails.
yeah,
He's just like, fuck this. He's out.
yeah. And I think that's also very much why he's just such a calm guy all the time, because he's got all this external shit that he has to deal with. Not shit, shame. It's his mum. Like he's got all of this emotional turmoil that
Yeah.
he puts up this massive front of just being this calm guy all the time.
Yeah.
But
And
as
you
soon as
would
you break that
think,
wall,
yeah. And you would sort of you would think that he would want the chaotic job, something that would sort of let him let his frustrations out, but he channels
yeah,
all of that into baking, which is the most fucking you need to be like pinpoint accurate for your shit to come out fucking beautiful.
yeah.
And he has to elicit calm and control. Yeah, that was beautiful. Everyone kind of had like that little bit of like I want to say zhuzh, but after
That's certain je ne sais quoi.
you said, yeah, everyone had that little pull to them. Pause.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I'm trying to find some similarities to making this donut to like referring it back to his mother, but I can't think of anything. But I'm sure there's something there with like having some sense of control because he can't control how his mother's condition is. But yeah, I love Marcus. I think he's great.
Mm, yeah, just doesn't seem like there's a mean bone in his body.
Yeah, 100%.
He's just likable all the way through.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, my favorite episodes in this season. I mean, there's Marcus's episode, which is fire. Fishes, which was basically called the Bezardos.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fishes, which I think Fishes when it plays out, it pays off in episode 10, The Bear, which is my other favorite episode. Where everything is sort of realized and it's just it almost feels like this one shot in two different worlds.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, is it episode 6 Bezados or is that episode 5?
Episode 5.
Episode 5, yeah. Where you kind of meet the whole family. You get to meet the aunties and uncles and whatnot, and Bob Odenkirk's in there. So is Jamie Lee Curtis,
Sarah
and
Paulson.
Sarah Paulson's in there, and John Mulaney, and yeah, the regular gang as well. And you kind of see where everyone was at 6 years before the Bears set to open,
Yeah.
and everyone is not in a good place. But you kind of see Kami's traits of I want to help, and then you see also how creative he is. Where I'll make Sprite for you. Richie's like, you'll fucking make Sprite? What the hell is this? In the first season, he makes the Ecto Cooler, the Ghostbusters Kool-Aid flavor, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, that's cool.
It's nuts.
Yeah. No, 100%. So the Bizarros and that fourth episode with Marcus in Copenhagen are definitely
Mm,
two of my favorites.
mm,
And Forks, fuck, even the last episode, The Bear, I think that's
mm.
like four favorite episodes for me, to be
Yeah,
honest.
man. There's a lot of standouts. 100%. And the other episodes ain't no slouch either. Like they
Yeah.
are like solid fucking episodes. Um the thing that got me in in The Bear, the final episode, is that after all this hard work and calm sort of planning, he fucks himself over yet again, like the cigarettes in the first season, fucks himself over with the door handle to the fridge and locks himself in the fridge.
Yeah.
And he's locked in there with his emotions. That's
Yeah.
what sort of like he's almost frozen out.
Yeah.
And he's locked in there with his emotions, and the people that love him the most are sort of coming to the door and giving him support and whatnot. And he's rejecting everyone because he's not able to shine in this moment.
Yeah.
And he pushes everyone, or he pushes Claire away, who he almost fucked everything up for. And and Richie as well. And that's the thing that broke my heart in that episode. Is that Richie's saying, I love you. And Kami's
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy, his way of loving people is only when he does well and he gets the validation.
Yeah.
Just like his mom. When
Yeah.
his mom gets the constant validation, she's happy. His
Yeah.
drug is cooking. His mom's drug was fucking cooking and alcohol.
Yeah.
And she pushed everyone away from her.
Yeah.
And he's almost brought everyone together, but in this moment where he's beating himself up. That's what
Yeah.
he's doing in that fridge. He's beating himself up over the fucking handle, but he's taking it out on everyone else.
Yeah. He's having this external rant where he
Mm,
finally gets everything off of his chest, but he does it in the worst way possible where everyone can feel all of that hate that he's just spewing. And to
yeah,
be caught in that freezer with all of his emotions and almost akin to being stuck in his past because of how old that freezer is, because the only old thing in that restaurant at that time.
mm,
It's just so much to see him go through it. Like at
yeah,
the start, you really feel for him because they show him going through that anxiety of fuck, is this gonna be like that day
mm,
when like the receipts were flying through that machine and we had no way
yeah,
to cover the orders,
yeah,
and he thinks everything is just going wrong outside.
yeah.
And
But you go there, dog.
oh, sorry. And then I was just going to say all the interactions with everyone, like you mentioned, like you see him just going off, and it breaks your fucking heart to see like Kami get so close to the finish line
Mm,
and then just drag himself back to the start again.
yeah.
Because he
Eh,
does so well at the beginning of this fight. Sorry,
mm.
man, I keep cutting you off, but he gets
No,
so
you go
close.
for it.
And then at the beginning of the season, he's going to the meetings, and you think everything's going to go really well with Claire because Claire's
Yeah,
really helping him to push him out of that shell too.
yeah,
And then he just recedes and just takes over as the old Kami again.
yeah. And you even see his insecurities start bubbling at the start of that episode when he looks out into the dining room and he sees Joel McHale's character there.
Yeah,
And it's always him scared of that guy.
yeah,
And if this restaurant fails, that guy was right.
yeah. It's weird when you think about it because John McHale, when you think about it, or his character
Mm,
makes him the
yeah,
man that he is.
that's
But
right. Yeah,
Joel McHale is Dr. Frankenstein, and Kami is Frankenstein, well, Frankenstein's monster, I should say. And to see him just like he's trying to fuck, he is like Frankenstein's monster when you think about it, because he's trying to find love, he's trying to find some sense of self,
yeah.
but he
And
just can't
purpose.
do it. Like everyone really, not everyone, but like all of these emotions just push him over that edge, and he becomes the monster that everyone expects to see.
Yeah, and every time he tries to care for someone, he ends up killing them.
Yeah. Fuck. It's funny when
The
you think about it
layers,
like
Christopher
that.
Storer. The layers.
Fucking hell, this is parfait.
Oh man.
And I think, like, speaking about all of this just comes to back to that. This is why this is the best second season of television.
Yeah.
because a lot of the time, a lot of creators are hungry to tell you this story in the first season,
Mm,
and then all you really get in your second season is a lot of like slight narrative and a bit of progression and where do we go from here.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas the Terminator 2 philosophy works out so well.
yeah. Hell yeah.
But I
It was
think,
such a. No, you go there, dog.
sorry, man, fuck, I keep doing.
Nah, you're right.
um, but
You
it,
got
yeah.
more spit? Go for it.
But I think, like, with the powerhouse of just characters you have on screen,
Hmm,
and I like a lot of these people don't sign up to a dog, so there has to be something there for a lot of them to just show up and really put in like 150%.
hmm.
Like, because even seeing, I never seen Jamie Lee Curtis act like that before.
Yeah,
And to see her have that moment, not only outside of the bear in episode 10, but the I make everything beautiful for everyone, and no one makes anything beautiful for me. Like, it just
yeah,
hits.
yeah, yeah. Um, that was better than a performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And,
Yeah.
and she won an Oscar for that, so she better be pulling out some fucking Emmys or something like that. That wasn't a take from me. That was Weave's take, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this guy got it."
100%. Man, what a show.
I know. It was a surprising season because I thought this season was going to open up with um, them just opening the bear,
Yeah.
and then it would be the same thing, but because now they had the money,
Yeah.
and then they open the like. By the time you get to this season, they're opening the restaurant, and then hey, what's the fucking challenges that are going to come up? You know what I mean? There's going to be more sort of character interactions or whatnot. That'd be the drama,
Yeah.
but they realistically like set you up so that it wasn't their saving grace at the end of season one. That was
Yeah.
just that was just the start of another challenge, and it the structure is almost like a kitchen structure. Where there's a problem that happens, you solve it. There's another problem, you solve it. Um, and yeah, I loved everything that they brought to this season, particularly, and I think this was the cherry on top for me when Richie takes this idea of a surprise from that restaurant and he brings it into the bear,
Yeah.
and it's that chocolate covered banana, and it just it sort of demonstrated the care that Richie at that point had so much, and he was so in control, um, because he had stepped up to the pass and he was sort of delegating and
Yeah. Shot
whatnot, and
caller.
fuck, he killed it.
Yeah.
He really killed it. And you realize in that moment that some people have the temperament for this shit, for the pressure. And Richie has been doing that shit for a while. And
Yeah.
this is his way to let off steam. Whereas Sydney, she couldn't handle the jandal up there in the past.
Yeah.
And as sad as it is to say, she's just not ready for that level of leadership just yet. And
Yeah.
it's the self-realization that maybe her dad was right, but she's still going to hang in there and do what she needs to do.
Yeah. I think, and this is something I've wanted to bring up as well with this season is that the reason why I just grind against Ao Edebiri's character in the show is because she is the weakest link, like in
Mm,
that kitchen. Like, understandably, Ebro does go through his challenges, but he still comes back and still provides
mm,
when he does come back. Whereas because Sydney's character is so stubborn in her ways, like you can see it in episode, I think it's 3, when Tina's helping her with working out the menu,
yeah,
and Tina's like, "It's just a lot, like on the plate. It's very
yep,
busy," and you see her go like, "It's not that much," and then it clicked for her. And like I understand that's her realizing like some of her mistakes with coming up to it from prior interactions, But she keeps just reverting back to that same person of this isn't working. I'm gonna freak out for a little bit, and I need to get the fuck out.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah. And it's that pride that really sort of fucks her up because
Yeah,
her dad's in her ear. Like, this might not work out, so you can be one of the baggage throwers at the airport. It's like,
yeah,
how the fuck am I gonna go to that after I'm doing this? I'm setting up a fucking
yeah.
restaurant.
It's a
Yeah.
lot. And like, I understand there's also the anxiety of a second venture just not working out
Yeah.
with being a partner in all of it. But she
Yeah.
just, there's so much shit for her that she needs to really just, she needs to sort of shit out.
Mm.
It's like the easiest, the simplest way to say it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many nuances underneath the skin for her. Maybe she needs to go to therapy. Fuck, maybe I'm taking this character too seriously, but like, there's just
Oh.
so much there that she needs to fix before she really can flourish in that environment.
Yeah. She really needs to slow down, I think, because she wants to be calm and she hasn't gone on the same journey as calm.
Yeah,
So it's like you don't have that balls of steel temperament cultivated because you haven't done the work.
yeah,
She really needs to do the work, and I know she's done the study and she's textbook, she's there, but her lack of experience is just yeah.
yeah. And that all shows in the first season too, when Calm's like, it's a good dish, chef, but it's not perfect. You're not ready.
Hmm. Yeah.
And still trying to push that and be like, no, 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 I'm ready. And maybe it's a thought of I need to be ready because I don't want to be a baggage handler.
Yeah.
Fuck, maybe I'm really just convincing myself to like her after going through this. But yeah, yeah, like her progression, it was so absent for me, and that's what annoys me about her.
Mm,
But maybe they're
yeah.
really just setting it up for, because maybe this next upcoming season is the Olivia Colman story of them just not making it. Because after
Yeah.
she does all that digging and seeing all those restaurants being closed down,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe that's the same fate that the bear will have.
True. Yeah. Shit. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I just thought it was like from this point on, it's the same feeling that I got from season one. After this point on, it's easy flying, baby. Eh, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Shit.
I think
They got to come
repeat.
up with something.
Yeah, definitely. I think repeat viewings of this show is a must if you want to catch everything.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but I think even just watching the show once, you will adore it from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so much you can relate to, not even just in the back of the house or the front of the house. It could just be things that people do because
Yep.
it's the perfect mixing pot of different strokes for different folks.
Hmm. Yeah. 100%. Um, I think the biggest surprise for me was that everyone had like really good arcs. But
Yeah,
that I would actually care for Richie. I hated him in the first season.
same.
And then now I'm caring for him. I'm caring what happens in his life. And when he got that call and he was like, hey, we got an extra ticket. You want to come with? And then she's like, hey, I want to tell you I'm getting married. And he's like, oh, I'm so happy for you. But you felt that. If you
Yeah,
hadn't been there with Richie the whole time, you wouldn't have felt that. But
yeah,
that's my biggest surprise for this season.
yeah. Look, I think the biggest surprise for me, and it's going to be such a throwaway, but it's all the cameos and how well they did. And I know I said that at the beginning too, but it
Hmm.
just, like, it floored me with how
Hmm.
much they introduced to this episode in regards to cameo introductions and the possibility of like maintaining those cameos throughout like seasons to come if there are seasons to come as well,
Yeah. Yeah,
because
100%.
it really, like, every cameo in here, like, it just leaves you wanting more. Like, what if
Yeah.
Marcus does go back to Copenhagen? What if nothing works out with the bear and he stays with Will Poulter and Will Poulter becomes his mentor forever,
Mm.
and they
Yep.
do that together.
Yep.
What if Will Poulter comes to the bear? What if they're the guy that they need in there to like smooth
Mm.
everything out?
Yep.
What's going to happen with Jamie Lee Curtis? Like, are they finally going to sort out their family differences? Could it be season 3? Could it be season 4? Um,
Yeah.
Olivia Colman, is she going to have some other hand in this? Is this restaurant going to go down as well? Like, because with that restaurant going under, that could mean a lot for Richie's progression because that
Yeah.
place means so much for him.
Yeah. But I'm
Like,
looking forward to that. If the place goes under and he's got to find himself without a restaurant, oof, those episodes are going to be fucking like, oh,
yeah.
push this into the Oscars. You know what I mean? It was that show was so good we had to nominate him for an Oscar. Best
Oh my
short
god.
film.
Best short film.
Uh,
Oh fuck. Yeah. So it was like cameos and the lore building and like the Reddit post that you'll see that'll come out that'll just be like, hey, what the fuck's gonna happen after this? We need more of this, and I want it now. Like, fuck, they could even make like a story about Olivia Colman going on that journey of like leaving uh, a place, creating her own, and then all of that going down.
hmm,
Because there's
yeah.
so much there. There's so much meat.
Hmm,
Pause.
yeah. They had a lot of threads that they sort of left, but they tied up all the main ones for the season.
Yeah. Um, and it's also the desire for a mentor or a father or a mother figure, like some maternal paternal desire for someone to just like pat you on the back, tell you you're doing well, and here's my story so you can run with it.
Mm, yeah. And that need to create family because you didn't
Yeah.
have family.
Yeah. Or at
Mm,
least your family was so chaotic and dysfunctional that any modicum of calm was just out the window. Like you
mm,
desire that solace, that reprieve, that respite from the chaos to be the small thing. That's why I see Kami and Claire, because they're very much just they're always in intimate moments together.
mm.
And I think that's what Kami really needs is someone to lift him up, but also like teach him that it's not always chaos. Like
Yeah,
you can just sit here with me and enjoy the conversation.
yeah, yeah. Because that Claire, if they're staying together, Kami's going to be out in that kitchen most of the time. That's a
Yeah.
chef's life.
Fuck. So much emotion. Like I'm feeling emotional talking about the end of this as well. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah,
bringing that up, like I feel it.
yeah.
Yeah.
They do something right. Christopher Storer is the O that is just killing it right now with this shit.
Yeah.
And the story, it feels organic. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like he was like, and then Kami has to go on jury duty. You know what I mean? Some zany sort of shit like that. It
Yeah.
feels organic and livable.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Sorry, like not to bring the vibes down, but fuck, I felt what I was speaking about before. Like
Ah,
it
man.
really just hit. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, dog.
Appreciate you too, man. Like fucking it was huge. All of this. Like fucking I couldn't believe it. Going through it.
Now we gotta wait another year.
That's
Probably
it.
longer. Probably longer with this with the old strikes going on and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping that, like, with Christopher Storer, like, on this massive rise, um, that even if it takes 2 years to make season 3, that it is the most, like, fleshed out thing that we have ever seen. Maybe even 3 years, to be honest, because we don't know when this strike's going to end, and then
Yeah, that's
you'll
right.
start after that. But, um, yeah, hopefully he takes that time after to really, like, flesh this out.
Mm, yeah. I'll be here waiting. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
100%. I'll be there.
All right. Has got anything else? Any more hot takes?
uh, no, no, not at the moment. Just please watch The Bear. Like, it's one of the best shows out right now.